Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to Spirit of Islam. I'm your host Ashraf Zaghloul, and today inshallah we'll talk about leadership. Leadership is one of the very important character traits, and for us in Islam the best example for us as a role model is Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam for leadership. I'd like to introduce my guest today, Imran Mian. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Ozram here. Assalamu alaikum. And Farheen Khan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Ozram, let's start with you. Why did you think about this leadership conference you wanted to have?
We've been doing this for the last, 5 years ago was when we started off with the concept of having a leadership summit. The idea began, as a Muslim professional organization representing Camp International. I'm currently advisor, previously chairperson. And we actually started with the idea in DC, Washington, DC. We brought together the various chapters that we have within our Muslim Professional Network, and we had a 3-day intense program, all day, and topics were varied, but a stronger theme around the topics at that time was religious leadership and looking at the examples of the prophets and the different sahabas, and then we delved into management and business leadership and just organizational leadership, and that was in DC. And then we later, in the previous year, we had a conference in New Jersey. And in New Jersey, we brought together leaders from the different organizations across the country. And we spoke about different aspects, whether it was media, leadership in the media, leadership in interfaith with MPAC and ING. Again, religious leadership with Zaytuna. We had Imam Zaid Shaker who spoke. We also had a representative from MSNBC and ABC News, Halal Fire, Shahid Amanullah. So we had some great representatives, and now we have one in Toronto.
Imran, what's your involvement?
Well, my involvement is, leadership to me is really taking the responsibility to do something. And there's one aspect of leadership we could see in Obama. The other is, you feel the responsibility to do something. And that's where I'm involved.
What about you, Farheen? What's your...
So I'm the president of Camp Toronto, and so, from going to the summit in New Jersey and seeing the need of trying to give people the opportunity to take it to that next level and really get involved, we felt that this was an important opportunity. So, we started to develop the idea of a leadership summit in Toronto.
Let's discuss, obviously one of the issues for us as Muslims is lack of leadership. Or maybe too many leadership. You can look at it either case, right? So how is this conference going to help us?
Maybe we want too many chiefs.
I honestly think everybody thinks he's a leader and nobody wants to follow, and yet because of that we don't have any leaders. Nobody speaks on our behalf.
A good leader is a good follower.
That's right.
You cannot be a good leader if you can't follow.
And a good leader is one who develops others to be leaders.
So why don't we have it?
So this summit is about getting people involved, getting them motivated to get involved, feeling the responsibility to be involved, and that's leadership.
I guess one of the challenges is we attend a lot of conferences and they're very motivating, but there's no results. How do we make sure there is follow-up and there is results out of these conferences?
Well, I was going to say, part of the reason why I'm doing the Leadership Summit is because I got an opportunity to be involved with a leadership program called City Leaders, which is through the United Way of Greater Toronto. And it gave us the opportunity for youth leaders to get some information and understand what leadership means on a totally different level, taking that responsibility. And so what inspired me to I was able to listen to a lot of the different speakers, top, professors and whatnot, to talk about what leadership is. And so the idea is that those individuals inspired me to do this leadership summit. And in the same way, I'd like people to get the opportunity to listen to those people, because they're the ones who have that type of capability to inspire people. And I think that's very important.
See, one of the challenge in, coming from the Middle East, for us, it seems that people think leadership is forcing your opinion on others and others have to follow, rather than a leader is a facilitator to make things happen.
Absolutely.
And guidance. And how do we really instill this in people's mind? Because we don't really have good role models, even though we all say we want to be, good leaders, but from what we see, it's really dictatorship versus leadership.
And I would go back to my original statement. It's really defining what leadership means to each and every one of us. If leadership means to us that I stand up and start, delivering a lecture on a topic that I feel comfortable with, to some people that might be leadership. To me, it's really having this discussion and really, getting people engaged in those conversations and finding something that you're passionate about and then doing something about it. To me, that is leadership.
Real leadership is not when you stand up and say, I want to be the leader.
Yeah.
Real leadership is when someone says, you know what? You should go ahead. You should, just like in Islam, the person with the most knowledge,
Yes.
is the one who's usually leading the salah. That's leadership in Islam.
Well, as we know, in Islam it says if there's 3 or 4 people, they have to select a leader,
best.
right? And the important thing too, in Islam it says if somebody wants it, you don't give it to them. Because
Exactly.
usually people want it for personal reasons or power, and then they don't deserve it. They don't understand it's more a responsibility than an authority.
And the intentions are usually flawed when someone wants it. What is the reason behind it?
Yes.
Is it really selfless leadership for the sake of actually doing something or taking charge of an initiative for the end goal or the end result? Or is it to put yourself in that spotlight and have everyone see you as the leader and get that recognition?
So when is that conference?
It's November 22nd on
Yes.
Saturday. It's an all-day conference. We're going to have it at the Markham Civic Center.
Okay.
That's at Highway 7 and Warden in Markham.
Okay.
It's going to be I just wanted to go over some of the topics even, we have people talking about, and part of going back to Imran's point as well, we're giving the opportunity for people to learn different elements of leadership, different opportunities of how they can get involved, and everybody's leadership style is different. They may be wanting to be a leader on a different level. It's really just about trying to see, open their eyes to the possibilities of what's happening.
Is there a price, going in?
Yes, there is. It's a $50 cost. That includes breakfast
free
and
in this
lunch.
world.
But some of the speakers that you'll be able to listen to are phenomenal, and so for that price, it's not that costly.
Is there an minimum age? I know there is no maximum age, but is there a minimum age for people, or what's your recommendation?
I would
Well, there's
say
a student price
there is.
for those who are young.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
But,
And
is it 16 years old? Is that good, or that's too young to attend this kind of conference? Or
honestly, I would say even if they're 16, they can still come in and benefit from listening to the speakers that speak, because there's always opportunity for them, and they are the future of our community. So it's a great opportunity for them as well.
tell me some of the things you've learned from previous leadership conferences.
Well, as I mentioned, religious leadership empowerment was one of the key aspects, because if you know your deen as a Muslim, I mean, you want to know your deen, you want to know how to act and behave in that context. And when you have that foundation, it helps you become a better leader. And there's so many great examples of leadership that we can look to, even, Prophet Moses, alayhi salam, Prophet Jesus, alayhi salam. All the great prophets had leadership, and Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, the determination and the constancy, and there's so many different qualities that if we can't take from those examples, there's no way we can even move ahead. And so I mean, that was one aspect.
But let me throw this at you. We were in a halakha, circle of knowledge with young people. And when we talk about religious leadership, the question I ask the young people, when you go and learn, how do you learn? And it's always forced on them. There is no leadership. Our Imam is not giving a leadership by telling them, you have to do this, you can't talk And I think one of our problems is we don't encourage our young to speak up their mind and present. It's always, this is how it is, and you're not allowed to say your opinion. And most of the young people said, yes, every time I go to the masjid, you know, this is how it is, and accept it. And we're not showing this leadership that should be encouraging people to talk out and show them the beauty of Islam rather than this is how it is.
Well, we unfortunately have some not so ideal examples of leadership because, as you said, it's not something that you can, you know, teach and learn by theory, but there's also an element of learning by example.